In 1993, Will Elmore, or Mecca as many call him, was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Faced with the prospect of a lifetime behind bars, Will made a promise to his mother, Bessie, not to give up, and she in turn promised not to give up on him. Through countless books, conversations, and letters, they kept that promise. Ultimately, he was released in 2015, only possible due to a law passed well after his conviction, making him eligible for release. But this isn't the story I'm here to tell, because Will has already told it himself. After his release, he began working on his life story, Prison from the Inside Out, which was published in 2021. A couple of years ago, Will started a landscaping business, community-based landscaping, or CBL, with Scotzo, a friend he made in prison, who was released just a few years after Will. Will likes landscaping because it lets him take full advantage of his freedom. He gets to work outside and likes having a flexible schedule with different things to do every day. He also likes being his own boss. Their day normally starts early. When the light is sharp and the air still cool, Scotzo, Will, and whoever else is working with them that day meet up to drive to the first job. Sometimes doing errands along the way. Their projects can range wildly, from reinforcing a patio, to concreting, to removing drywall. Will and Scotzo are always looking to learn new skills so that they can expand the services that they offer. Through CBL, Will and Scotzo hire other former inmates, providing them with a way to earn their own income, gain a new skill set, and engage with the wider community. Landscaping is difficult work. To stay safe and do a good job, they need to work as a team and to be able to trust each other. They also need to maintain the trust of their customers. In return, they're welcomed into people's homes and treated as guests. After a long day, if Will is lucky, he'll get to shut his eyes in the car on the way back home. But his day often doesn't end there. Twice a week or more, Will and his other business partner, Tommy Green, go to one of two transition houses. One in Hillsborough and one in Durham. These houses provide a place for people who have just left the prison system to stay for 2 to 3 months in order to get their feet underneath them. In addition to programmed support, they provide the opportunity to work on skills that are neglected in prison, such as managing their time and living well with others, taking care of their own living space, and providing for themselves. Will's mother, Bessie, opened the transition house in Durham in 2018. It had previously been a federal transition house that was shut down due to a lack of funding. Since it reopened, over 150 men have stayed at the house. At the transition houses, Will and Tommy work as peer support specialists, providing approachable help to those transitioning out of the prison system. They help with practical necessities, such as finding jobs and getting mobile phones, but they're also there to provide a listening ear to those wanting to make a change in their own lives. Will and Tommy's lived experiences within the prison system help them relate to the circumstances that the house residents find themselves in. Will does this work because he knows firsthand that dedication and self-belief, combined with strong support, can achieve wonders. It's for that reason that it can be frustrating for Will and Tommy to hear residents turn down their help sometimes, with words like, "Yeah man, I'm good." Once the residents leave, one after another, Will and Tommy aren't there to help. The residents will have to make their own decisions. After the residents have all had their peer support meeting, Will and Tommy leave, often catching up with Scotzo, who helps staff the transition house in Durham. Peer support is one of the services Will and Tommy provide through their business, Success While in Transition, or SWIT for short. Through SWIT, Will and Tommy provide staffing and programming for transition houses, mentor training, motivational speaking, and more. They're responsible for the operation of the transition house in Hillsborough. SWIT has become a vibrant team that Will and Tommy want to sustain and grow. They're aiming to open their own transition house sometime soon. Outside of his work, Will stays engaged with the wider community, sharing his story to inspire others, raise awareness, and show what's possible. It can be a difficult story to recount, bringing Will back to his lowest points, to a time and place that brings him very little joy. At the same time, it isn't without positive moments, as it connects him with others who can relate to his experiences, either directly or through their own lives. As the saying goes, no man is an island. Yet, incarceration has a way of separating and disconnecting people from each other, with effects that can last long after leaving prison. So, for Will and many more around the world, the challenge freedom brings is to hold on to those connections and to build new communities. Whether through old friends, strangers in need, or work buddies, it's through these connections that Will has built a new life from the outside up.